Let's talk about 7 bad habits that can ruin your day. All right, number 1, eating a breakfast. Now, I know some of you are saying, I thought that skipping breakfast was a bad habit or skipping a meal was a bad habit. Well, if you're new to my channel, you're going to find that eating breakfast is a bad habit, especially if it's carbohydrates. But even if it's not carbohydrates, when you eat a meal, you actually stimulate hunger. So eating promotes hunger about an hour and a half later. And that is because every time you eat, you do increase insulin, regardless of what you eat. So if you're eating a carbohydrate meal, you're really going to spike that insulin. And insulin is behind this thing called hunger. All right, and here's another point. If you're going to do breakfast, the worst thing you can do is carbs. So oats are carbs. You don't want to consume carbs for breakfast. So breakfast is not the most important meal of the day. I used to recommend it. I no longer recommend it. It was bad advice. If you have a breakfast with carbohydrate in the morning, chances are you're going to be craving carbs later that night. All right, number 2, drinking too much coffee. And that was me, okay? I used to drink pots of very strong coffee. And what happens is that the caffeine in the coffee blocks certain chemicals that help you sleep. And if you have too much of it, your liver can't clear it out in time for you to go to sleep at night. So too much caffeine is going to keep you up at night. And guess what? You're going to be tired the next day. So I recommend just to do 1 small cup in the morning. You can also do coffee alternatives like Ticino, like turmeric lattes, like matcha lattes, which have less caffeine because it's green tea, or just take a whole lemon with some water, blend it up, and drink that with maybe with a little stevia or electrolytes. And I will put that video down below if you haven't seen it. All right, number 3, grazing at night. Really, really bad habit that you have to break. It's probably the worst habit. And so at night after dinner, you just start eating and you don't stop until you go to bed. What's happening is you're just jacking up insulin. So your ability to fast through the night is gone. You're not going to be fasting. You're not going to be in ketosis. You're not going to be burning fat. You're basically going to have this spike of insulin. And that insulin is going to then keep you from losing weight. So the next day, you're going to be bloated. And probably in the morning, you're going to be hungry. You're going to give in to temptation to eat something. So what's really happening is you're going to end up with a low blood sugar situation in the morning. It's going to affect the brain. So you're going to have brain fog. You're going to have brain fatigue. You're not going to be able to be up. You're going to have like mood issues. You might be irritable. You might have some anxiety, more stress. So what you need to do is have more fat at the last meal, okay? And maybe as a transition step, instead of snacking on something, maybe you start with snacking on carrots and celery, okay? And do that for a while until you can give that up. But if your last meal is nutrient dense, that is going to help you. So even though you're eating a lot of food, if it's empty with nutrition, okay, let's say you're just eating conventional foods, whether it's vegetables or not, and it's just empty, you might be full, but you're not going to be satisfied. It's the nutrients that satisfy you. All right, the next one is too much blue light, okay, through the day. So I'm talking about too much computer work, too much cell phone, especially before you go to bed. You're getting all this blue light. Blue light blocks another type of light called infrared. And infrared is really, really important from the sun, from other things like the fireplace, from candles, incandescent lights, which we don't have anymore. And so blue light prevents the creation of melatonin from the infrared light. So if you're not getting any sun during the day and you're getting all this blue light, you're going to be deprived of melatonin, and that's going to affect your sleeping. It's going to affect your health. You're not going to get a rejuvenating sleep, and you're going to feel kind of sluggish the next day, and you're going to be tired. It's very important. All right, next bad habit is going out to dinner. It's a crapshoot. You don't know what you're getting. There's a lot of hidden chemicals, MSG, a lot of omega-6 oils that they put foods in, and try to not go out as often. All right, next one is shopping for groceries when you are hungry. Big mistake. You're going to buy things that you don't normally buy. So always eat before you go food shopping. And last one is just not eating enough nutrient dense foods. When you eat food that's empty with nutrition, even though it's keto friendly or low carb, what happens is you always are in a state that your body's not satisfied. And so your tendency is to go for the wrong thing. When you really have nutrient dense foods, man, is it easy to overcome the cravings. It's easy to stick to things. You feel better. And the pleasure of that healthy feeling will allow you to stick to it long term.